I would like to note that this time we have an interpreter for this evening is Ashley Arciniega. She is in the back. So if you need a listening device or interpretation services, she's there. Antes de llamar a la Junta Orden, me gustaría notar que contamos con servicios de interpretación para esta Junta y la señora Ciénaga está sentada atrás. And a report by the City Attorney's Office. Mr. Watson, would you like to give the closed session report?
Yes, Madam Mayor. With respect to items 3A and 3B, instructions were provided to the negotiators and instructions were provided to counsel in the case listed. No further information provided.
Thank you. Now we will have a presentation presented for the Red Cross Month. And Ms. Hernandez, would you please give that presentation?
Yes. Whereas the American Red Cross was founded in 1881 by Clara Barton, who turned her personal passion for helping others into a larger mission to prevent and alleviate suffering everywhere. And whereas today millions of Red Cross volunteers across the globe give blood, donate financially, and or learn life-preserving skills through the Red Cross. And whereas the humanitarian spirit, the act of coming together in times of crisis to care for one another, is a foundation of the Santa Maria community that exemplified by the goodwill of local Red Cross donors and volunteers. And whereas Red Cross volunteers give hope to the most vulnerable community members in their time of greatest need by providing emergency shelter, offering food and comfort to families devastated by local disasters, supporting military families and veterans, saving lives with emergency response skills and first aid, donating essential blood for use by trauma victims, transplant recipients, and cancer patients, among others, and delivering international humanitarian aid. And whereas the City of Santa Maria joins communities nationwide this March in recognizing the heroes of American Red Cross who work together to alleviate human suffering and advance the noble legacy of Clara Barton, who said, "You must never think of anything except the need and how to meet it." And therefore, Alice Patino, Mayor of the City of Santa Maria, hereby proclaims March 2025 as Red Cross Month and encourages all citizens in the City of Santa Maria to reach out and support its humanitarian mission. In witness thereof, she here sets her hand that has caused the seal of the City of Santa Maria to be affixed hereto this 18th day of March 2025. And to accept this is Leticia Leon, Red Cross volunteer.
Good afternoon, and thank you so much for this proclamation. It means a lot to us, especially with this month for celebrating the American Red Cross. So I look forward to working with your community to continue to enhance and promote the wellness of a community as a whole. And then this is Rico Aguilera.
Good afternoon. My name is Rico Aguilera, and I'm one of the certified instructors. Also part of the first responders under the Disaster Assistance Team. Also part of the Military Families Alliance. It is a pleasure to be part of such a great team that helps. And just a quick report, we share thousands or hundreds of thousands of meals and benefits to the fires in Ventura and LA. And personally, I have answered to different fires here in Santa Maria where families lose everything due to fires. We have a accommodate people in hotels until they recover. Also, part of doing follow-up, we help the people to not only get back on their feet, but continue with their life, providing them with funds to start a new life or a new chapter in their lives, and also to partner with other organizations. And I can say that proudly I certified some of the teens from Aver Maldonado's team of youth, whatever it is. And I'm waiting for more people to be certified. So thank you very much for being part of us and us part of you, and allow us to be part of this great community. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Soto?
Yes, I just want to really thank the American Red Cross for all that you all do. I know that for the nonprofit that I'm a part of, all of our staff have been trained by the Red Cross for first aid and CPR, and I was trained by you all as well. And so as a new mom, it's definitely very comforting to know that I would know what to do in the event of an emergency. And so I just really want to thank you for the great work that you all do in the community.
It's a pleasure to help you.
Thank you, Mr. Aguilera and Ms. Leon. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next, we have a presentation from SoCal Gas, which will be delivered by Recreation Supervisor Rudy Gutierrez, President and CEO of the Chamber, Michael Boyer, and SoCal Gas Public Affairs Manager, Tim Mahoney.
Madam Mayor, after the presentation, they would like to take a picture with the council after the presentation.
Sure.
There we go. Madam Mayor and City Council, thank you for having me today. Yeah, it's my pleasure to do this check presentation. We had a rebate that we received in January of 2024. We were able to work in partnership with the SoCal Gas Company as well as the Chamber of Commerce, who approached us with a rebate offer. And at that time, the Paul Nelson Aquatic Center pool covers were in pretty good need of replacement. I think we're hitting our 10 to 12 year mark, which is a little bit over the need for them. But since then, we were able to acquire the grant, which was for, I think, $14,000 and some change, which helped us get over that, bridge that gap to be able to get those new pool covers, which we've seen a significant impact on energy efficiency, which has saved the pool as well as the city an enormous amount, especially with these 40-degree weather, overnight weather changes over recently. So it's been a pleasure to work with SoCal Gas as well as the Chamber of Commerce. Dave Cross, as well as the SoCal Gas team and Chamber have been tremendous, and we are really looking forward to working with them on future partnerships. I know they're also working with the high school district to try to make some connections to save them some cost-efficient energy projects as well for their pool covers. Dave? Michael.
Good evening, Mr. Boyer.
Good evening. Thank you. Thank you for having me. The Chamber's had a long-standing relationship with SoCal Gas. Dave and the team have been working on energy efficiency initiatives that benefit our community through municipalities as well as school districts and so on. Today, I really want to thank Sarvi, because Sarvi really came up with the idea and pinpointed this opportunity for us to help with the pool covers. Today, we are pleased to present a check in the amount of $14,371, an example of how the Chamber's partnerships create tangible benefits to our community. This collaboration underscores our commitment to fostering energy efficiency, supporting initiatives, and make a real difference for our residents. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Mahoney.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, members of council, and audience here, and great to be in Santa Maria as always. So, what is energy efficiency? You know, it really boils down to this: using energy smarter and wiser in our existing systems. And because that's important to everyone, SoCalGas has got the rebate programs that bring this forward. So, you know, PG&E brings the light in this area. We're the natural gas provider. So when you go into the kitchen and you turn that stove on and that blue flame lights up, that's us. When you take a hot shower, chances are that water is heated by SoCalGas. When you, as it was mentioned, the cold nights and the cold mornings, you run to the wall and you flip that thermostat on, and that hot air comes out and everybody in the house is happy, chances are that's coming from SoCalGas. So we're partnerships here with the city and the customers that are here. And I know you know behind this check, there's a lot of great people who've gone the extra mile on your staff and others to do this. So I just want to let you know that. Thank you, and keep encouraging the staff to do that. Your leadership here at the admin and the management are super to work with. So we're just looking forward to coming back with more big checks. Thank you so much.
And they're always welcome here. Thank you.
Yeah. Indeed. So appreciate that. And if we could get a photo with you all, that'd be great. We'll
Okay.
try and publish this to get more activity in different areas.
Do you want
that
it
would be
here?
super, sure. Thank you.
Okay.
Usually take a picture for just because. So 14,000.
So now everyone will have a nice warm swimming pool in the cold mornings here.
Start swimming.
The next item on the agenda is public comment. Madam Clerk, could you please read the criteria?
Speakers may provide public comments on any matter within the subject matter jurisdiction of the City Council. Each speaker will be limited to 3 minutes, maximum 15 minutes for public comment period. Unless a majority of the council objects, the mayor may provide speakers more or less time to speak. All comments or queries shall be addressed to the council as a body and not to any specific member thereof. Pursuant to Government Code Section 54942A2, the Ralph M. Brown Act, no action or discussion by the City Council shall be undertaken on any item not appearing on the posted agenda, except to briefly provide information, ask for clarification, provide direction to staff, or schedule a matter for a future meeting.
Thank you. The first speaker is Josh Snow, followed by Julie Orr, followed by Esther Jensen. Good evening, Mr. Snow.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, ladies and gentlemen of council. My name is Josh Snow. I am a 32-year citizen of this lovely city, and I'm an owner of brick and mortar business here in town. And I'm here tonight to bring to your attention the matter of a claim that I have with the city that I believe is not being handled professionally or with integrity. A couple of you on council may be familiar with this, as I emailed asking for help and guidance and left voicemails well over a month ago. To date, I have not heard from anyone, so I'm here in person to demand your attention to this matter. I filed a tort claim last year at the beginning of March for damages to the parking lot of my business on East Main Street caused by a city magnolia tree. Initially, I contacted the city to find out if they would simply perform the repair on their own, and I was told that the city does not do this and that I would need to file a claim with the city clerk. Since filing this claim, I have experienced the worst bad faith handling of this claim that one could imagine. The representative from George Hills, the city's third-party administrator, handling this case has been extremely unprofessional and has followed the now infamous insurance industry playbook of delay, deny, and defend to a T. Additionally, the claims administrator has failed to follow multiple aspects of state law regarding handling of claims and has on more than one occasion claimed that the law does not pertain to her. Over the course of the last 12 months, I've been clerically denied, gaslighted, lied to repeatedly, and ultimately insulted. I can provide a detailed timeline of events and conversations if needed at a later date. I had to hire at my own expense an independent arborist and an engineer to finally have my claim acknowledged as legitimate. After this acknowledgement, I was finally advised that the claim would not be paid until the work was done. So I duly scheduled the contractor and had the repairs made. Subsequently, George Hills made a settlement offer of approximately 1/3 of the actual repair cost. Now I'm trying to determine how we got from here to there regarding the submitted actual cost of repairs. I have followed the city's expectations and protocol for filing this claim to the letter. I have been patient to a fault. I provided plenty of documentation, including upfront bids for the repairs showing costs, yet I can't get anyone from George Hills or the city of Santa Maria to acknowledge my concerns. Phone calls and emails have gone unanswered. It seems as though myself and my claim are not being taken seriously enough by the city attorney's office division chief, risk manager Melissa Guerrero, to even have the decency to answer the questions that I respectfully posed via email. I've provided a copy of that email exchange for you all. I have asked for face-to-face meetings with them and the city attorney or whomever might assist.
Could you wrap it up, Mr. Snow?
Pardon me?
Could you just wrap it up, please?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
So let me be clear. I'm not demanding that this claim be settled 100% in my favor, but I'm asking for a cogent dialogue where we can get to the facts and get this claim put to bed. I'm also asking you to have a good look at George Hills as your business partner and how they reflect on the city of Santa Maria and our values, because I don't think they're doing you a favor or us. And I do hope that we can resolve this quickly and professionally without the need to go to court.
Thank you, Mr. Snow.
Thank you.
Mr. Rowland, Mr. Watson, can you handle this, please?
Yes, ma'am, we're aware of the circumstance, and there's a disagreement, but I'm happy to chat with Mr. Snow.
Thank you. Julie Orr, followed by Esther Jensen, followed by Diane Martinez. Good evening, Ms. Orr.
Good evening. My name is Julie Orr, and I have lived in Santa Maria for 57 years. This is the first time I have addressed the City Council. My mission began on December 8th of last year. That's when I first voiced my concern to the city and Santa Maria Regional Transit about its service for the disabled, along with a suggested solution. For this, I was referred, neglected, rejected, and dismissed. Well, I don't take rejection lightly. So on March 8th, I sent an email to City Council. I hope you all received it. It went like this. I am requesting the immediate construction of a bus stop on East Cook Street in front of the old police station next to the signal pedestrian crosswalk. This is the one and only solution to the unacceptable service of today. I think you would all agree with the statement that providing differing levels of service between the able-bodied and people with disabilities is the very definition of discrimination. So here are the facts. A passenger on Route 3 traveling to the East Side Mall has 3 options. Option 1, exit the bus in front of the West Side Mall, walk 1 block south to Cook Street, cross Broadway, and walk 1 block to the nearest mall entrance. Option 2, stay on the bus, travel down Cook Street past the mall, turn right on Miller, continue a half a block, and exit the bus in front of the courthouse. Then walk back the half block to Miller and 2 blocks to the nearest mall entrance. Option 3, stay on the bus, travel to the transit station where passengers will sit on an unventilated, out-of-service bus while the driver takes a 10-minute break. After that, the bus returns to the mall and drops off passengers. Now I ask each of you to become a passenger on Route 3, which option would you choose? 1, 2, or 3? Seriously, think about it. Are you going to walk 2.5 blocks, 3 blocks, or are you going to wait 10 minutes? None of you would choose option 3. Why? Because that would be silly and a waste of time and really aggravating, I might add. No able-bodied person remains ever on the bus. No one except the disabled. Again, providing different levels of service between the able-bodied and the disabled is the height of discrimination. 4 business days after I wrote this email to the council, I received notice that you are considering a bus stop and as a larger part of the Cook Street project. Would that be part of a 1, 2, or 3-year plan? Forgive my skepticism. Consideration is not a solution. Consideration does not even begin to right the wrong you have perpetuated for years. Consideration does not even begin to meet the responsibility of this council to our disabled community.
Thank you, Mrs. Orr. Thank you very much.
I challenge the council to have a bus stop built in 6 months.
Esther Jensen, followed by Diane Martinez. Good evening, Ms. Jensen.
Good evening. Good evening, Madam Mayor, council members. I'm Esther Jensen. I'm a resident of La Maria Senior Mobile Home Park here in Santa Maria. I respect the North Santa Barbara County Manufactured Homeowners Team, or as we call it, NSBIT. Gary Hall could not be here tonight, and he asked me to remind you that our NSBIT goal remains to provide, protect to all Santa Maria mobile home residents presently living in an unregulated rental market where the current model lease program has been ineffective in producing homeowners' equity and maintaining affordable mobile home housing. It's been over 5 years since the model lease and enforcement agreement, with all its flaws, were approved over our objections. The improvements we asked to incorporate then were ignored. All we wanted was to be treated like those mobile home residents in unincorporated Santa Maria County, to be treated like mobile home residents in local areas like Lompoc, Goleta, Morro Bay, Pismo Beach, Oxnard, Santa Paula, and even San Luis Obispo and Santa Maria. Those jurisdictions list to their residents and provided the rent stabilization protection they deserve, like we deserve. Many seniors living in Santa Maria mobile home parks are really struggling financially. Please bring the mobile home rent stabilization back to the agenda. Tonight, I'm also asking you to put on your agenda the necessary action to prevent Santa Maria senior mobile home parks from inappropriate conversions to all-age parks. And as we attempted in Del Cielo Mobile Home Park and Orchid, fortunately, the Santa Maria County Board of Supervisors stepped up and within 4 months took the necessary action to prevent this from happening. It's time for the city of Santa Maria to take a similar action. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jensen. Diane Martinez.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and City Council members. I am Diane Martinez. I'm the Outreach Specialist for Family Services Agency. Tonight, I want to thank the Mayor and the City Manager for their RSVP to our event in April. And I'm encouraging all the other board members to check their emails and their post mail and let us know if you'll be able to attend. Family Services Agency is going to be talking about youth mental health and how we all can make Santa Maria a safer community. Last time I addressed the board, we talked about the services we have for seniors, including Aging in Place. We talked about the Pearls program. We talked about a lot of the other things that we do, the long-term ombudsman. And tonight, I just wanted to highlight the work that we do with the youth in this city. Our school-based counselors, our family advocates, our family outreach advocates are in the homes in Santa Maria, aiding the families with much-needed mental health, physical health, emotional health services. And we just really thank the board for its support. I hope that everybody will consider joining us. I'm going to leave this with your clerk, so if you have an opening in your schedule and you could join us, we would really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Martinez. That concludes public comment. Now we'll move on to the consent calendar. Does anyone have items they wish to pull for discussion?
If there's none, I would like to move that.
Yep. Wait. I do want to pull something.
Oh.
I want to pull 12D1.
D1, okay. Madam Clerk, can you please read that into the comments?
D1, adoption of a resolution authorizing services and license agreement with Paradigm Software, LLC for hardware, software services, and support for waste transactions at the Santa Maria Regional Landfill.
Ms. Aguilera Hernandez, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I understand that the cost to do this is $250,000. Is that correct?
That is correct. That is the initial cost.
What is the total cost?
There's an annual maintenance cost as well that's identified in the staff report, and that is $37,000 per year.
And what is the length of the services that we're going to be getting for $250,000?
Well, the initial cost, there is hardware and software associated with this agreement. So at the existing scale house, we have multiple inbound lanes, 3 inbound lanes. One is the direct window transaction. The second is kind of like, I guess I'd describe it like a old school bank teller, the vacuum thing through, and then also self-serve kiosks. So when the city collections trucks go through, they can enter the codes and the transactions occur in the scale house. And then there is also outbound lanes. So importantly, the hardware and software integrate together so that the scales and the information that the scale house clerks have seen, as well as cameras. Many of the vehicles that show up, like the large roll-offs, we can't see into the back of. So this agreement also would include cameras that would provide seeing the vehicles from the front and the back, for example, license plates, and then as well as so that they can look into the top of the vehicle to make sure that they are being charged for the correct type of materials. So the $254,000 initial cost is to include all of that hardware information, the software, and then this software will also integrate with the new cashiering software for the citywide ERP. The current software does not do that as a standalone.
And did you put this out for bid to see if we could get it for cheaper?
We absolutely put this out for proposals. We received proposals back. This was the most cost-effective solution. Our existing software that we use on the site did not propose for us. So as I mentioned, our existing software did not propose. It's not supported, and it's not compatible even with our existing financial software, and certainly not with the new ERP.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, do I have a motion? And a second?
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Mayor Pro Tem Escobedo.
Aye.
Councilmember Soto.
Aye.
Councilmember Aguilera Hernandez.
Aye.
Councilmember Flores.
Aye.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mayor Patino.
Aye. Next, we have a regular business item, the Measure U Annual Report. This presentation will be given by Assistant City Manager Chun Wu. Good evening, Mr. Wu.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, members of the council. Oops. We're getting the slides up on the screen here. That way I don't have just 3 minutes. Okay. As you know, Measure U is a 1-cent sales tax approved by voters in 2018 to support essential city services. The City Council has set goals and objectives regarding the use of Measure U proceeds. The goals are to first maintain services and second to make service enhancements. The objectives are to make Santa Maria safer with more services for youth and to improve the quality of life. To meet these goals and objectives, the City Council authorized Measure U proceeds to be used 90% for public safety, 5% for youth services, and 5% for quality of life. The City Council had also adopted a resolution to establish the Measure U Citizens Oversight Committee. The committee consists of 5 residents who ensure oversight that the revenue generated and the expenses made in relationship to Measure U are consistent with the City Council's intended use. The committee is not charged with decision-making responsibilities on spending priorities, funding decisions, or financing plans. Rather, committee member duties consist of reviewing the annual independent financial audit during the previous fiscal year, as well as other financial reports necessary to advise the City Council of its findings. I believe we do have a member of the committee here. John Childers is here. Thank you for being here. The committee held its annual meeting on January 27, 2025. The committee was presented with unaudited financial statements for Measure U for fiscal year 23-24. The committee made inquiries regarding the financials and timing of expenditures for capital improvement program. Appropriations and expenditures do not always line up precisely with fiscal calendar schedules. The committee unanimously voted to prepare the annual report for council review, submitting that the information is accurately reflected in financial statements and follows the council policy to ensure that 90% of Measure U will be spent on public safety, 5% on youth, and 5% on quality of life. On June 20th, 2023, the City Council adopted $36 million, $89,629 in appropriations for fiscal year. This funds 183 full-time and part-time positions and additional services in the police and fire departments, recreation and parks, library, code enforcement, and the city manager's office. $9.2 million from reserves were also utilized. $4.5 million from prior year adopted budget were carried forward for approval, but not finished projects, increasing total fiscal year 23-24 appropriations to $40,618,590. This is a chart showing the actual expenses by department. The blue is the police department, the green is the fire department, and the pink is recreation and parks, the blue, the library, and a smaller slivers for the community development and city manager's office. So as you can tell, the 2 departments, police and fire, that provide our public safety services make up the majority of the expenses. And then this is a chart showing the expenditures by council priority, 89% public safety, 5.6% youth services, and 5.4% quality of life. It's difficult to get exactly to 90%, but this comes pretty close. So the recommendation is to receive this presentation from staff and the Citizens Oversight Committee on the Measure U annual report for period ending June 30th, 2024, and to receive and file the annual report from the Measure U Citizens Oversight Committee. This concludes staff's presentation. As mentioned, we also have Mr. Childers here from the committee for any additional questions.
Any questions from the dais?
On the
Ms.
previous,
Soto?
thank you. On the previous slide where you showed the pie chart breaking down expenditures by council priority, you have these three categories: public safety, youth services, and quality of life. I'm assuming that the previous pie chart with the different expenditures by department, that aligns with the other pie chart?
Councilmember Soto, yes, there's correlations and alignments. For example, community development, code enforcement is within community development, and so code enforcement is within that quality of life category. And so these are the departments, but if you look at the specific operations and tasks within those departments, they'll fall either within the public safety category or youth or quality of life.
So we saw the city manager's office. Is that included as quality of life? I mean, I don't really see the orange, but I'm assuming it's a really small sliver.
It's a very small sliver, and it's usually tied to some administrative tasks related.
Mm-hmm. Is the youth services, would that be library and recreation and parks?
Youth services, the department responsible is primarily recreation and parks.
I would love to receive a report on the progress that we've made on youth services and see how those expenditures are being, the outcomes of those expenditures in the city of Santa Maria and the different programs that we're offering young people, especially given last year's
situation.
Yeah, with young people and violence, and so just I would love to see what our approach has been thus far with the utilization of these funds and see identify that way if there are any additional gaps in the youth services arena that we can hone in on. With community development and the Rangers, I'm assuming that they're also playing, from what I remember, they're playing a pivotal role in homelessness and in addressing what we're seeing here in our community, especially in the riverbed. I mean, I know that we had this conversation already when we had the report, but it would be really wonderful to see leading up to the city council retreat when we're identifying our priorities for the next 2 years. It would really be great if we can also get a similar report of the impact on addressing homelessness in the city of Santa Maria as the report on youth prevention.
Yeah.
And kind of going off with that, when we had the report from SLO County and Santa Barbara County on homelessness, you provided us with cost, right, associated with that. Is this correlated to that? Is any of this money being used for that purpose?
Councilmember Aguilar Hernandez, yes. And just to add a little more information, Recreation and Parks includes the Rangers, and so there's certainly work that's being done within Recreation and Parks that's within that public safety category. And as you know, we're now providing presentations on homelessness and encampment response on a quarterly basis. The next report will be on April 15th. And as part of that presentation, we're going to follow up on the January presentation with additional information related to costs and how much we spend and how much we will be spending, and our plans and strategies.
And so I believe about a year ago, 3 council members asked for the report that Councilmember Soto is bringing up now regarding the youth services that we provided, and we never got back to that. So if there's 3 of us who would like a report as to the services that we're providing to the youth with this money, would we be able to get a report in 30, 60 days? So I would like to make that request and see if there's 2 other council members who would want that. So you have 3. We got 5. Thank you.
Any other questions? Yeah, Mr. Escobedo?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Well, now that we have one of our commissioners here, I just want to say thank you to the volunteers for all the time that you guys put to bring this up to us. And a lot of people don't know that sometimes, like behind these reports, there's people that care about the community. So thank you to Children's and everybody who's part of the committee.
Yeah. Mr. Childers, would you like to make some comments? You're more You're more than welcome. Okay.
Smart man.
Okay. Okay.
John.
Any other comments, questions?
Do you need a motion of receiving and filing the annual
It's
report?
just received and filed.
Oh, no? We're good? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Wu. Next is a presentation on the 2024 General Plan Annual Report to be given by Shannon Dow, Director of Community Development.
Good evening, Mayor Patino, council members, and thank you for the opportunity to present on our 2024 General Plan Annual Report. This is a document that's required every year by the state of California to be submitted to track our RHNA progress and other elements of the general plan. First up, we have our RHNA numbers. So these are distributed across various income levels, and we are provided with a target allocation during every RHNA cycle. That RHNA cycle started in 2022, and it will continue through 2031. This is our progress to date, and as you can see, we do have quite a bit of progress, particularly in the low income area, with a little bit of lagging progress in some of our other income levels. Of our total allocation for that multi-year period, we have issued permits for 1,328 units with 3,454 units to go. So we are well on our way and are on track to meet our RHNA numbers in 2031. I do want to take a moment to call out the progress in our building and safety team. We had in 2024, 3,036 applications received, 2,427 permits issued, and that included 476 new residential units. So for some context, that's an application received every 41 minutes of working hours, a permit issued every 51 minutes, and roughly 1.88 units per workday that our building staff was in action. In terms of certificates of occupancy, this drills down into solely those residential units. So 32 were issued in the very low income area, 128 in the low income, 239 in the not deed restricted low income, and 60 above moderate. So you might be asking, how did we not have progress on that prior chart in some of those areas if we did indeed have progress here? That's the pipeline. So those were permits issued versus certificates of occupancy issued. So these are different points in progress for those getting occupied. Any questions?
Yes. Can we go back to what's the difference between low income deemed restricted and not deemed restricted?
Yes, we've been very fortunate that the state has recognized what a powerful tool ADUs are in meeting RHNA numbers. So we have, as you're well aware, a huge number of ADUs that are making progress here in Santa Maria. And what we do each year is actually contact the people who have built them to understand what income levels those are so we can count them for those RHNA numbers. So deed restricted means they actually have conditions, covenants, and restrictions on those properties that require them to be provided at that income level. Not deed restricted, but falling into that category means that by nature of the market or whatever agreement that the landlord has with that tenant, they do fall in that amount to be charged, but they're not deed restricted. They don't have to do that in perpetuity.
Thank you.
Sure.
Any questions? I have a question, Ms. Dow. On
Of
the
course.
476 new residential units, if you want to go back.
Sure.
How many of those are ADUs?
We had 435 ADUs in 2024. And to date in this RENA cycle, we had 1,044.
1,044?
Now, that does not include those before 2022. My understanding is that Santa Maria has had about 2,000 to date, if you go back into the last RENA cycle.
Okay, thank you. Any questions?
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Madam Mayor?
Yes, Ms. Soto?
I think just going back to the report that was just given, it's really impressive to see the number of applications that have been processed, and it just showcases the efficiency of the Community Development Department. So I just really want to say thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so the Chief Deputy City Clerk can file the general plan for 2024 report. Thank you. The last regular business item will be an annual fire department report. Fire Chief Bradley Dandridge will be presenting this item.
Madam Mayor, members of council, thank you. Good evening. Established in 1913, the Santa Maria Fire Department has been serving the residents of Santa Maria and all who visit for 111 years. The annual report communicates the department's statistics for review by you, our elected officials, community leaders, and the residents of our city. This report details our accomplishments and service levels over the past year. A complete report has been submitted for review. Tonight, I wanted to present a summary and highlight accomplishments the department made in 2024. Santa Maria Fire Department is supported 54.4% by the general fund and 45.6% by Measure U. The budget supports both sworn and non-sworn personnel in 4 divisions: our administration, operations, training, and prevention. Our personnel are our most valuable resources. Last year, we had the retirement of our Deputy Chief, Jim Clayton, after proudly serving the city for 30 years. He left the department in December this past year. Recruitment is currently being conducted to fill his vacant position. However, the department continues to grow, keeping up with our growing community. In 2024, saw mayor and council approval adding 9 positions in preparation for an additional engine responding within the city to provide enhanced service to our community. Santa Maria Fire Department is now budgeted for 87 talented and committed members who ensure the community receives the high-quality service from its fire department. We were able to promote within the organization 2 captains last year and 5 engineers and filled vacant administrative positions. We also recognize in the report our Firefighter of the Year, Captain Derek McLeod. Firefighter of the Year is presented to the individual who best exemplifies the positive characteristics of a member of the fire service and who has a notable record of service and accomplishments. Captain McLeod has given selflessly in his support of the department, the fire service in general, and the community. As I stated before, our personnel are our most valuable resource. As an all-risks safety agency, the Santa Maria Fire Department is responsible for fire rescue, emergency medical services, prevention, investigation, reduction in fire and life safety risks, public education, and the planning and coordinating and training of our city's emergency preparedness plan. For emergency services, our Santa Maria Fire Department deploys its apparatus and personnel from 5 fully staffed fire stations distributed throughout the city limits and 1 ARF station at the Santa Maria Airport. We serve approximately 110,000 residents and over 23 square miles in the city. Last year, the crews responded to 12,419 incidents. This is a slight increase from the previous year. These incidents included fire, EMS, traffic collisions, hazardous conditions, and false alarms. Emergency calls continue to increase, including fire calls, which increased by 71 from the previous year. The report breaks down each unit's response from 2024 when you look at it closer. I also want to publicly recognize one of our firefighters who responded to the most incidents in 2024. One of our engineers, Engineer Andrew Garcia, responded to 1,225 emergency calls in the past year. I want to extend my sincere appreciation to Engineer Garcia for his work ethic and commitment to serving our community. As an all-hazard, all-risk fire department, personnel must be proficient in multiple disciplines. Our firefighters train in firefighting, emergency medical service, and special operations. 2024 saw the approval of a 40-hour training captain who develops, coordinates, and delivers standardized training to ensure that the firefighters responding to emergencies are competent and efficient at their skills. Training is the backbone of our department. Each member is expected to perform a minimum of 240 hours of training annually. Last year, the department members logged over 26,400 hours of training within the department. Included in that were 2 recruit academies. We welcomed lateral firefighters from Bakersfield, Kern County, Santa Monica, even North Carolina, who all expressed their pleasure with their move to Santa Maria in a recent exit interview after completion of their probationary year. We also had 3 previous lateral firefighters who made the move, 2 from Los Angeles City, 1 from the City of Templeton Fire Department. We also hired 9 entry-level firefighters who are now in the field serving their probationary year. The training division conducted 2 captain and 2 engineer academies. This was an effort in succession planning and career development. This led to the promotion that I spoke of previously of the 2 captains and 5 engineers in 2024. 2024 also marked growth in our fire prevention division. The addition of a fire inspector 1 and an office assistant filled previously vacant positions, strengthening our team. The Bureau also made strides in its inspection programs, expanding the commercial building inspection in 2024 to include a broader range of occupancies. In support and to enhance the inspection process, new commercial building inspection fees were approved by City Council in December of 2024. Last year saw an increase in fire activity within the city. Fire Prevention Bureau conducted a total of 120 fire investigations in 2024. 50 of those investigations were determined to be intentional and resulted in 14 arrests. Through the diligent work of our prevention team, 14 potential arsonists were removed from the city streets. Public outreach was also expanded in the previous year. Our emergency services specialists, with support from the Fire Prevention Division and engine companies, conducted 62 public education outreach programs. This resulted in contact with over 7,000 Santa Maria residents. Finally, a long-range master plan was conducted and published in February of 2024. It completed a community risk assessment and standards of cover update. Published were short, mid, and long-term recommendations. The department completed 7 of the 15 identified short-term goals and 2 of the 6 midterm recommendations. 2025 brings great promise. I've identified 5 short-term goal recommendations in the master plan as goals to be completed in this coming year. A regional dispatch center is scheduled to open in June, which will cover all the Santa Barbara County Fire Departments. This will also start the closest unit response agreed upon by the Santa Barbara County Fire Chiefs. Regardless of jurisdiction, the closest and most appropriate unit will be sent to provide for the needs of each emergency. Last, I'm proud to announce finally the opening of the approved Engine 6. Logistical preparations have been ongoing and nearly complete. We have intentions of a soft opening March 28th in a couple of weeks to put the engine into service, with plans of having a proper celebration shortly after to recognize all that have supported this initiative. I look forward to continuing the progress and keeping the momentum moving forward in 2025. I want to thank you, Mayor, City Council, City Manager, and our residents of our community for your continued support in the Santa Maria Fire Department. That concludes my presentation. Are there any questions?
Thank you very much. Any questions from the council? Question?
I just wanna-
Councilmember Flores?
I just want to say thank you to the fire chief and to the firefighters for all that they do for our community and keeping our community safe. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chief Dandridge, question, I just, as you were going through this, I was just thinking, what happens when you arrest these people for arson and they're put away? How long do they stay away?
Madam Mayor, I'm going to defer that one to our interim police chief,
Okay,
Chief Cohen. I do not have the answer for that.
okay. I didn't realize there were 14 arrested. I don't know, I guess I missed that. Does it come out in the news?
I witnessed one.
Oh, you did, okay.
So I'm sorry, I don't have the answer. As I stated before, I'll defer to interim
Okay, Chief Cohen.
How long does someone go away for arson arrest?
You weren't ready for a fire question? Okay.
I can't answer that question because every case is case specific and it depends on the facts and the evidence. Some cases get dismissed, but for arson, some people can get a life sentence. So it really depends on whether somebody was injured or killed, the extent of damage, and the aggressiveness for which they're prosecuted. So it's a wide range.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Any other questions from here?
Thank you.
So this report has been received and filed. Next, we'll have a report for the city manager, David Rowlands.
Thank you, Mayor. A couple items upcoming. Well, the fiscal year 2025-26 CDBG proposed allocations and drafted 5-year consolidation plan. We also have the quarterly encampment response that was talked about earlier today. Also want to notify the public that we are expanding our office hours starting on March 21st. These 4 departments will be open to the public on alternating Fridays. The finance, utility, building counter will be open from 8 a.m. till 4 p.m. Community development will be open from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Public works, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. And the city hall, city manager's office, human resources will be open from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. These departments had been closed to the public every Friday since May of 2018. So we ought to get together and redo the schedule and provide more services to our residents. So I'm proud to announce that and glad to work with our department heads and our employee groups to make sure that this could happen for the employees here. And they also had the pleasure of joining the mayor and other council members at the Alan Hancock and Cal Poly press conference earlier this week. Let the mayor talk more about that, probably her comments. And then also had a good visit at the Vandenberg Space Force base as well for their state of the base. And that's all I have.
Thank you. So next, we'll have the oral reports of council members. So Councilmember Flores, we'll start with you.
March 5th, I attended the Santa Maria Police Awards Luncheon, and then the same day I attended the Unified Board meeting. March 14th, I attended the State of Vandenberg Space Luncheon.
Thank you. Mr. Escobedo.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. On March 11th, I attended the City Council special meeting here at City Hall. Then on the 14th, I gave a presentation to Santa Maria Bonita School District leadership class. They got really good questions, and it was a really participative group. So a lot of good questions, and one of them was about arena numbers.
Wow.
I suspect that teacher kind of like put something in that.
Really?
But those kiddos during the presentation, they were asking a lot of detailed questions. They really care about what's going on, and so I was happy to answer those questions. And earlier today, I attended the CCAA new board member orientation. And that's it.
Thank you. Ms. Aguilera Hernandez?
Yes, on April 19th, I attended the last month firefighter appreciation. On April 24th, I attended the opening ceremony for YSA. March 5th, I attended the investment committee. Last week, I attended the Marion Hospital board meeting. And then on March 11th, I attended the city council special meeting.
Thank you. Councilmember Soto?
On March 11th, I attended the special meeting for the City Council.
Thank you. March 5th, I attended the Santa Maria Police Department Awards Luncheon. On the 6th, I attended the LAFCO board meeting in Santa Barbara. March 7th, I did the Read Across America at Bill Libin Elementary School. And on the 10th, I attended the funeral service for Jim Glines, who I guess you'd call him Mr. Santa Maria. And I did read his obituary at our last council meeting, who had done so much in the city of Santa Maria, and especially for our youth. And he touched the youth in so many ways in the city of Santa Maria that the kids don't even know that. On the 11th, I attended the Recreation and Parks Commission meeting and attended the Santa Maria Joint Union High School Board meeting. On March 12th, I attended the North County Sub-Regional Board meeting. And on the 13th, along with our city manager, David Rollins, we did a tour of the Radisson Hotel. I don't know if everyone's aware, but they are renovating that hotel, and they are going down to the bare bones to renovate. And I've never been into a building where they were doing that kind of renovation. And they're going right down to the pipes, to the electrical, everything. And it's really interesting. And so they have half of the rooms that they're still renting out right now. And this is a 12 to 14 month project for them. Wow. So it's a long time, and they're going to be redoing everything there in the hotel. State of Vandenberg Space Force Base with Lieutenant Colonel Shoemaker. And on the 17th, attended the Hancock College announcement for the new degree in business administration that'll start in 2025, fall of 2025. And in 2028 and 2030, they will have two other four-year degrees they'll be offering at Hancock. And this will be partnering with Cal Poly. And on the 18th today, I did the Ben Hayes Show this morning. There are no further business. This meeting is adjourned.